The humble penny is no more. After 232 years, the last ever 1-cent coin was minted in Philadelphia Wednesday on the president's orders. That's partly because pennies cost, well, a pretty penny to make, nearly 4 cents each. That's according to the U.S. Mint. So 1 penny costs 4 cents. And while some are mourning the end of an era, others just say it's common sense.
The value of the penny, which has long cost more to produce than it's worth, is a decades-old debate, which then U.S. Mint Director Edmund Moy spoke to 60 Minutes about in 2008.
It's unsustainable. You can't sustain losses on pennies and nickels and expect to be a viable organization that benefits the American people.
The Mint says there are now an estimated 300 billion pennies in circulation, but as phasing the coin out transforms it into a potential collector's item, some consumers are asking this question.
How are they going to handle prices? That'll be an interesting discussion.
We reached out to a sampling of major retailers. McDonald's said it would round totals to the nearest 5 cents for cash transactions. The convenience chain Sheetz encouraged cashless payments. And while Kroger said its grocery stores would continue accepting pennies, it asked customers to provide exact change.
An organization representing the retail industry reported yesterday that 2/3 of the nation's largest companies say they're rounding cash transactions to consumers' benefit when pennies are unavailable. That practice, they said, it's costing businesses millions of dollars.
Everybody, this is the last one.
Any final words from the penny?
God bless America.
Yeah, bless America. And we're going to save the taxpayers $56 million, which is good. We're going to do a countdown on this one. This is the last one. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this video. Well, you guys, the penny has finally died after decades of trying to get rid of the penny. The penny came into circulation in 1793, and has been a staple in Americans' pocket since then. So on Wednesday was the last batch of pennies that was minted in Philadelphia on Wednesday, 11/12. And they only made 100 pennies instead of 165 that they usually make, because Donald Trump was like, yo, we need to save this money. It's costing us 4 cents just to make 1 penny because of all this inflation. It will save $56 million of taxpayers' money a year to not make this thing. So he told the Treasury Secretary to stop making them back in February. So they're just waiting for it to run out. So it finally did in November. And they're telling, okay, so Congress been trying to get rid of the penny in 1989, but that didn't happen. And then they're trying to get rid of the penny again. Okay? Back in 2013, when Obama was president, because he was like, we're spending more money on something that people don't actually use, Obama said, and he's right. People don't use pennies. They just stock them up and, put them through the change thing to get some dollars. You know what I'm saying? So they try to round everything to the nearest nickel back in the late 80s, but it never went into fruition for some reason. We don't know. So now, 10 years later, Trump is like, get rid of it. We don't need it. So now they're getting rid of the penny finally. But Canada got rid of their pennies in 2012 and they're all right. There's no problem. So now it's 2025, 232 years after the penny was born. We're saying goodbye, good riddance. But the pennies are still in circulation. So they're talking about just keep your pennies, keep using them until they eventually fade out. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Listen to people's responses about the penny. Have a great day, YouTube.
Y'all say goodbye to the penny. Today, November 12th, 2025, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia has canceled the production of pennies. I had a love-hate relationship with pennies. As a child, I would collect pennies and put them in my piggy bank and go down to the Pathmark on 125th in Harlem and cash my pennies at the end of the year. And then I would go to like Toys R Us and buy toys with that money. I really thought I was rich. Those pennies brought me joy. But then also, as I got older, the pennies were annoying. But I can't believe there will be no more pennies made. And guys, you know what? If you have pennies at home, you might want to hold on to those. You never know in the future if they may cost anything more. You know? You might make some bank later on in life. But I can't believe we're saying goodbye to the penny. No more production of pennies. It's kind of sad. But is it really? Or were they just annoying little pieces of copper? Bye, penny.
Y'all, they really not making pennies no more. Bro, I never thought I'd actually see the day when pennies were no longer being made. There's over 300 billion pennies in the world right now circulating around, and they're still going to be worth something. You're still going to be able to use the pennies. So don't worry. If you have a bunch of pennies that you've been saving throughout the years in a jar or something like that, you could still hold on to those and you could still use them, but they are no longer pressing pennies anymore. Yo, pennies been around since the 1700s. Do y'all realize that? Because I don't think people actually realize how serious this actually is. If they're no longer making pennies, what's next? Could quarters, could dimes, could nickels be next? According to them, it costs more to make the penny than the penny is actually worth. I mean, Trump is the one who actually gave the order to stop the production of pennies, and they're estimating to save millions now that they're no longer making pennies. Of course, it's a money thing because America is all about the money. If they feel like they're wasting money by doing something, they're obviously going to try to stop doing it. It just makes you wonder, like, what's next?
Out of respect, before I get into this post, we're going to have a moment of mourning. The government has officially discontinued the penny as of this year. And in the next 5 or 6 years, pennies will not be a thing anymore. But America is a capitalist country, so there has to be a surprise in there somewhere. Effective now, companies can now round your total up to the nearest nickel and keep the change. That's totally legal. The government is like, hey, making pennies costs more than they're actually worth, so we're basically getting ready to send them into retirement. So they told businesses now you can just round up to the nearest nickel. So if you have a bill that's $9.97, they'll bump it up to $10, and yeah, that's legal now. Now think about a company like Walmart that is doing millions of those every day. Those pennies add up to some real bread. Guess what? That rounded up money, it doesn't go to some penny heaven. The companies get to pocket it. America. So soon when you hear somebody say we're rounding this up, keep in mind those small bits of rounding up, they're the new hidden profit stream. Welcome to the post-penny era, America.
Y'all, in a minute, money is not going to matter. Breaking news. Donald Trump has no longer making pennies anymore. Yesterday was the last day of them making pennies. The last brown penny. He getting rid of everything brown. At this point, like, in a minute, money is not even going to matter. The USD currency dollars is not going to matter anymore. We're going to be in a digital world. Like, y'all got to get right. Because this man literally is taking away everything. He's passing everything. Oh, but away. No more pennies. You know how long pennies been around? And now they're not making them no more. Next is going to be the nickels and dimes, quarters, then the dollars, then the $5 bills, $10. In a matter of time, there's not going to be any more money to touch. It's just going to be digital.
Today was the last day the U.S. penny will be made and no more will be minted. It cost the country 2 cents to make every penny. Well, time to start collecting them things, man. Time to start collecting them copper pennies, man. They might be worth something in 30, 40 years now. On some real shit, though, bro. Everything going digital, bro. It's going to come to a point where the dollars don't even count, bro. It's just going to be some paper falling. I bet you in 100 years, niggas going to have a $100 bill. It ain't going to mean nothing, bro.